Hey there, fellow educators. Welcome to another FTCE vlog. Today's vlog title is Content is Not King on Your Professional Education Test. Sounds weird, right? We're always taught that we need to know the information for the test. So for any of your FTC exams and all my workshops and video courses, if you've attended some of them already, if you haven't and you will in the future, you're going to hear me say that a lot. You're going to hear me say things like, content is not most important thing, this and that along those lines. All right, it sounds weird, especially when I do it online or I stand in front of teachers at school districts and I do these trainings. But especially when we talk about the professional education test, you have to understand that content is not king. Yes, it's important to understand the concepts that are related to the 8 competencies that are tested on your professional education test. But what a majority of teachers do is they make themselves bananas and go crazy telling themselves and making themselves hundreds of flashcards, dozens of pages of notes, trying to memorize all of these vocabulary words. All right, first off, you can know all the definitions of vocabulary words, but unless you understand what it looks like in a scenario, which most of the questions are structured out on the professional ed, if you can't give an example or understand a scenario, what it looks like in action, then you really don't know what it means. Right? You heard that adage before, you don't really understand something until you can teach it to someone else, using examples. Same thing here. But back to the main point of this is content's not king. Please don't stress yourself out trying to memorize all the vocabulary words. In my professional ed workshops and all the workshops, one of the side products, so to say, things that I mention, a side theme to my sessions, my prep sessions, is you could actually 9 times out of 10 know what the meaning of a vocab word is or what it looks like or what it has to do with without even knowing the textbook definition, because you're smart. You're a smart teacher. You're a smart college student. I have no doubt that you can pass on the first attempt. All right. But don't get boggled down memorizing all the content for your test. So using this question as an example, all right, we're not going to go through every single strategy, all the things I talk about in my workshops. And I'm sure you already read the question while I'm sitting here blabbering, right? But it's very important. Here is a perfect example of a typical question you might see in your literacy competency for your professional ed test. Now, I want you to focus in on the answers first. One of the big things I talk about is you don't look at the question, cover the question with your hand, or when you're studying and doing practice tests, use an index card or something, but don't cheat yourself and don't look at the question, all right? For more details, I can go over that in my workshops, but we're gonna look at the answers first. All right, look at those words, right? Whenever I do these sessions, and be honest with yourself, can you literally tell me what the definition is of all those 4 answers? Maybe 1, maybe 2, maybe 3. Hey, maybe you know all of them. Maybe you know everything. Who knows? But most teachers that I encounter cannot give me the definition of what this looks like for all 4 of these answers, right? Nothing wrong with that. But when you see this on the test, you freak out and say, oh my God, here we go again. I'm going to fail, right? But I'm here to save the day for you. I'm not Superman, but I'm here to save the day. So using this as a perfect example, look at those answers. Look at these answers on here. Scaffolding, private speech, advanced literacy, emergent literacy. You are smart, okay? Look at the word scaffolding. This is a big buzzword that you'll see on a lot of questions on your professional ed. I promise you, all right? Can you give me the definition of it? When I teach these in my courses at UCF, when we talk about scaffolding, easy analogy. I love using analogies. Think about a big building, driving down the highway or in a city somewhere, you see a scaffold on the building. Or what's the purpose of a scaffold? You know what a scaffold is. The workers climb up and down on it, right? It uses to support them, move up and down as they need be. And then when they don't need the scaffold anymore because they're done with the work, they remove it. Scaffold by definition is the idea of diminished support, meaning you provide those connections, right? And you slowly move away where the students don't need anymore. It's all about making connections, okay? Scaffold, I just gave you the definition, but think about it. We don't look at the words themselves. You can figure out a lot of the meanings of these words without even knowing the definition. Next, private speech. 9 times out of 10, when I ask teachers that, they go, I don't know, right? Think about it. Speech, you know what that is? Talking. Private, to yourself. Put it together. Talking to yourself, right? That's the idea with little kids, right? Babies first, 1-year-old, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-year-olds, even adults do it. I do it sometimes. You do it. You don't even realize it. It's the idea of talking through problems or tasks out loud to yourself. Now, I'm not talking about the little voice that might talk back to you over your shoulder. That's a whole different video session in itself. But the idea of talking through things on your own, that's private speech in essence right there. Now we have an advanced literacy and emergent literacy. Well, you know what literacy means, right? Literacy, reading. Advanced, have more skills than others. Emergent, just by textbook definition. Beginning, emergent, at the beginning, you're emerging. So obviously advanced, emerging at the beginning. So you have an idea of exactly what these words mean. So now look at the question. I'm going to look for the key word and phrase here. Preschoolers can often understand a book from beginning to end, even if they don't know how to read. They look at pictures and words. This is an example of the concept of what, okay? A lot of teachers, when they get this question, will freak out and not sure about what the answer is and second guess themselves. All right, you don't necessarily have to worry about preschoolers, okay? A lot of questions will talk about middle school teacher, high school teacher, 10th grade teacher, first grade teacher. 99.9% of the time, that's irrelevant, okay? So look at this question here. They don't know how to read. Don't know how to read. That's it. That's all I need. Yeah, they look at pictures and words. I get that. But as a good test taker, when I get up to the question here and I see don't know how to read, all right, guess what's immediately getting crossed out? Think about it. Well, private speech is not reading. The question talks about reading. Hello, right? And if you don't know how to read, I don't know what world or place you're in, that doesn't mean you're advanced because you're a beginner because you don't know how to read. So C is gone. So that leaves us a 50-50 shot here, okay? Just by looking at the root word of scaffolding, like I said before, making connections, a scaffold on a building, right? Think about a scaffold on a building, making connections. Don't know how to read, look at pictures and words. That doesn't make any sense, and it doesn't connotate anything that specifically we're reading. So the only answer that makes sense is D, emergent literacy. So an emergent literacy or emergent learners, you see those videos and pictures, and maybe you have a child of your own or a sibling that is little, 6, 12 months old, 1, 2, 3 years old. They like play with the books, they open them, they look at them, they bite them, things like that. They don't know what's going on. They're just looking at it and getting a feel for it. That's emergent literacy, basically. All right, so that's a perfect example right here. And you can have no idea what any of these definitions are. The educational definition of these words are irrelevant because you're smart. All right, now a lot of the questions on the test, big things that the teachers gripe about is they don't like scenarios. There's a lot of vocabulary. Listen, I'm not saying content's not important, but I'm telling you with 150% certainty, because trust me, I've been through these exams as well myself when I was a teacher. All right. You have to be able to have some strategies. And this is just a tip of the iceberg of things that I talk about. So this is a great example of how you can piece together and figure out an answer. Maybe this question was easy from you from the get-go. All right. But most teachers is not. So if you have any questions anytime, my information is below in this video. You can email me, text me anytime at the phone number there, 407-797-1499. And look out for some of my upcoming professional education test workshops. I have them on Wednesday evenings. All right. So you guys have a great night, and I'll talk to you soon. Thank you.